Hi there, my name's Mark Woods from Statius, and today we're going to talk about ISO in a nutshell, clause 4.1 and what's called context. Horrible name. What does it mean? It means stuff that goes on in the outside world, in the world outside of your company, that may present an opportunity or create a threat. So hundreds of years ago, when I first started studying business, there was a battle-hardened tool, and there are actually three of these, and that was called pest analysis, where P stood for politics or political, E for economic, S for sociological, and T for technology. Now all of these things, governments change, interest rates go up, demographics shift, and people invent things. None of those things you can have any control over whatsoever, but they may affect the way in which you do business. So the internet, as a for instance, has changed things dramatically. Somebody clever since then has added environment and legislation to that, so that now becomes PESL. But that's, like all of these tools, they should be used and abused in our view. And one of our clients, little company down in Battle on the south coast, or just up from the south coast, said, I want to call my analysis PESL G. Not Ali G, but PESL G. Why do you want to call it PESL G? I said to John, the MD. He said, well, if you draw a radius around us of about 100 miles, you'll find that 2/3 of that is water, and there aren't many clients in the middle of the water. And they were a steel fabricator, so he was probably right. The point is, none of these things you can do anything about, but you may need to take evasive action in some way or another. The next layer down, and think of this as a funnel, so you've got PESL at the top, the next layer down is what's called Porter analysis. You may or may not have heard of Michael Porter, but you've almost certainly heard of the term competitive advantage. Mr. Porter, Professor Porter actually, is the guy that invented the term competitive advantage, and he also invented his 5 forces model. Porter analysis, sometimes called the 5 forces analysis. So what are those 5 forces? At the middle, there's usually a box, and it's about inter-industry rivalry. So that's really about, is the industry that you're in hospitable or hostile? Are there many big players? Are there hundreds of little players? It's about the shape and intensity of your market. On the top of that, there's the threat of new entrants. So there's new people coming into your market. And at the bottom, there's a framework for thinking about substitute products, different ways of doing the same stuff that you do. And then on either side, there's the bargaining power of suppliers and the bargaining power of customers. So they are the 5 forces, both of which from the Porter level and from the PESL level may create you opportunities and threats, which are the O and the T from the SWOT analysis, the internal SWOT analysis, or the strengths and weaknesses analysis of being about the strengths and the weaknesses internal to you. So that's what are we good at, what are we not so good at, and what do we need to get better at. So they are the 3 battle-hardened tools: Porter analysis, PESL analysis, Porter analysis, SWOT analysis, and out of that can evolve some of your objectives and targets, potentially, given that you've now looked at the outside world and you might want to do something about some of the things that you can do anything about. Some of which may be merely mitigation. So that's clause point 4. There's a whole bundle of collateral on the blog site about PESL, Porter and SWOT, and loads of other business planning activities, because that's really where this fits in. And if you can't find what you need there, give us a call. Thank you very much. My name's Mark Woods. Ta-ta.